Why do you think there is such a distrust or dislike of crypto from the left?
I think there's like some pretty good reasons why there is distrust. I mean, kind of generally, especially at this particular moment in which we're talking about, with the recent, just collapse of different big crypto companies who had a lot of marketing and who were very confident in the type of services they were providing, and that very strongly insinuating that people could become very wealthy with using their platforms and using their products. And then now a lot of these people who were banking on these people, no pun intended, in order to like have some money for like retirement or whatever, or just to like get out of the rut that they probably feel that they're in because they're stuck at their shitty job or whatever. Now they have nothing, or like now they've probably lost a lot. And so there are like, I get messages on Twitter, on Discord, on Reddit all the time from different types of bots, like scamming about some new crypto thing that are like incredibly, like I do wonder sometimes, like, who are the idiots that are kind of like falling for these things, or they keep doing so much of it. But I think maybe I'm being a bit judgmental, because there are just a lot of people out there, especially in the current world and situation that we are in the economy, that are just completely dependent on working their shitty jobs, like living a life that they feel is like not ideal for them. And so they're trying to look for anything that they can to try and alleviate that situation. And in a like a very neoliberal economy, sorry for throwing out those type of words, but we have seen in the past decades like an extreme reduction of the welfare state, of the different types of assistances that were available to people in the past that are no longer available to us. And that's had like a lot of downstream effects. Like people are just like looking for ways to get out. So I think for a lot of people on the left, like having this understanding of like history, where we know that like we've seen just extreme deregulation of the economy. We've had like capitalism and markets sort of dominate our lives more and more. And then compounded with the fact with this like crypto thing, where it's like covered in scams, where like people are losing money left and right. Especially people who are vulnerable to these types of things, like it is a bad look. Like I'm not surprised about that. And also considering, if you do look into a lot of the history behind cryptocurrency, there are a lot of like not great people, I guess I could say, people who are definitely much more on the right. Of course, not all of them, but some of them were pretty despicable in my view, and in people on the left's view, if you were to read like what they're actually saying. So there's a lot of problems. There are things that I'm not surprised why the left doesn't like it. I think the position that I take is a very difficult one. It's a very nuanced position, and it's very I guess I'm more interested in particular details than I am like making sort of overarching conclusions about a particular technology. We've had scams when it comes to email. I get spam all the time through email. I think spam makes up like 80 to 90% of all emails. So this is like a continuation of a larger trend with digital technologies, but sort of new technologies in general. You can go back to the railroad, filled with scams as well, of people trying to invest in railroad companies that were just like, that were nothing. So they basically just gave some fuck some money. So like it is like this continuation of this trend. I think that people are just kind of like fed up with, especially if they've read about it. So I understand. But of course, with the railroad, with email, like those things still exist. Those technologies are still nice. Like I'm glad they exist more than that they don't exist because of like those particular scams. But it's still like a difficult position for people who don't know anything about the technology so much besides like the scams,